Hello viewers, you're welcome to another episode of Festival of Talks. Festival of Talks is a weekly program that brings you interviews with prominent men and women, and we discuss issues of human importance. On this week's episode, we promise to be very exciting and entertaining, of course informative too. My name is Angel Perfecta Eze, and it's still Festival of Talks. We'll be right back after this break. Stay with us. Welcome back from the break. On this week's episode, we'll be talking about women in politics. We'll be asking questions like what kind of woman should be involved in politics? Is it actually right for women to be actively involved in politics? And to discuss this topic with us is an honorable, an activist, an astute politician. She's not a person than Honorable Victoria Nyeche. Honorable Victoria Nyeche was a one-time lawmaker of the Rivers State House of Assembly, and she's here to tell us so much about women being in politics. Welcome to the show, Honorable.
Thank you very much.
It's so good to have you on the show. I know how long we've been looking forward to this opportunity, considering how vocal you are in the political scene, particularly as a woman. And you've done so much for your constituent, the Farga constituent, where you were representing. We know of the market projects and all of that you've been doing. But let me not talk so much. We would like to hear from the horse's mouth. Tell us a little bit of your political profile and what it has been like.
It's a pleasure to be on this show. Talking about women, for me, it's always an exciting thing. So I'm happy to be here.
Welcome.
I've been involved in politics for quite a while. I started, in 2003, when I had the opportunity of working with Dame Alerichi Kokigam as her special assistant when she was the secretary to state government during the tenure of Dr. Peter Odili as governor. And after that, I also worked with His Excellency Takuku Adol Peterside, the governor in waiting for the All Progressive Congress. I worked with him when he was Commissioner for Works as his technical assistant. And through the mandate of my people, I represented them as member representing the good people of Port Harcourt Constituency 1 in the Rivers State House of Assembly. And I know that I'm still on it.
Okay. Now, as a woman actively involved in politics, what has been your specific role in getting women who are indifferent? A lot of women will say, no, this is not for me, What has been your specific role in getting women to be involved in politics?
Maybe I should just inform you that I happen to be the President General of Ikwere Women's Forum, IWF for short. It's a forum for women of the Ikwere ethnic nationality, either by birth or by marriage. And we have tried to get women to be interested in politics, because for us, it's about being a part of the decisions that affect you. Women cannot afford to be indifferent. Women cannot afford to be by the sidelines or just be part of the electorate You come out, you exercise your civic responsibility, and you vote the men into office, and then you go and take a back seat. We do not think that that is right. We do not think that that is proper. So as the President General, I have organized different fora where we talk to our women, because we believe that knowledge is power.
Yeah.
The women need to be empowered so that they can be actively involved in politics, not just in voting. They should be part of the leadership. They should be part of the decision taking, because it affects them.
Exactly. Okay. Now, considering, since you said you came into the political scene in 2003, since you came into the political scene, the percentage of women who are involved in politics, when compared to that of the men, would you say what percentage is it? Is this satisfactory for you?
It is far from satisfactory, because we have less than 10% of women when you compare them to the men. The Rivers State House of Assembly, when I was a member, there were just the three of us in a house of 32. And that is very, very poor.
Yes.
And it has even gotten worse. As we speak right now, there is no woman in
the Rivers State House
as presently constituted. There is no woman there. So we've gone from bad to worse, and that is why things have got to change. And that's why I'm glad to be here to talk to our women. But I know that will soon change. I can assure you that will soon change.
Politics in Nigeria, we're still evolving. We've now gotten to a stage whereby we get elections that are not contested. Currently, the Rivers State gubernatorial elections are still being contested in the courts, and so as a woman involved in politics, and we know our political and electoral processes are always very violent with talks and all of that, would you be able to compete with the men in terms of thuggery, violence, and all of that? If you're not going to be able to do that, how then are you looking forward to securing your votes when you cannot be involved in thuggery and violence? Of course, we're not supporting that.
Well, I'm glad to hear that you're not supporting that, and I know that no right-thinking person would support violence. Whether violence in the home or violence in the political field, violence is wrong. Even God himself abhors violence. Having said that, I believe that our political system is evolving.
That's true.
And it's supposed to get better, which is why what happened, in Rivers State recently is very saddening. Because with all that the Independent Electoral Commission had put in place to ensure that the processes are more credible and more transparent, it is unfortunate that people will still want to take us back to those days where election was more or less warfare. But I believe that things will only get better. I do not subscribe to violence, and I do not intend to compete with anyone for violence or armed thuggery and all that. No, I will not be a part of it. And that is why we are happy to know that we have courts, we have the judiciary, where we can go and make our cases, and by the grace of God, get justice. So for me, that is the way out. It is not for us to say an eye for an eye. If you cannot beat them, join them. No, I won't be part of violence, because that is not the way to go. I believe that when you want the mandate of the people, you get it from the people. Let the people decide that they want you or that they don't want you, because it's their choice.
That's true.
But they should not be, they should not have that choice taken away from them, either through the barrel of the gun or through some means of violence or the other. That is not acceptable, and I know that will change.
Okay. Yes, let the people decide. If they want you, they should come for it. If they don't want you, they have to decide. These are the words of Honorable Victoria Nyeche, and it's still Festival of Talks. We'll be right back after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back from the break. Talking about violence and armed robbery, we see it mostly around amongst the youths of today. And some people will blame it on women, on the mother, because the traditional role of a woman, as seen in our society, is as a homemaker. So when youths are involved in these vices, these despicable acts, who do you blame? Do you, as a woman, would you say you blame the woman, or just society, or the church, or religious bodies? Who actually is to blame for this act?
No, for me, first, it's a family. Unless we're talking about a single parent family, then you can say it's the woman. If it's just a family of just the woman. But if you have a family of a husband and a wife, it is the family that is to blame, because of course the family is where the foundation is laid. But of course society has its role to play. The church has its role to play in the upbringing of a child or of any individual, because we are molded by the things that we go through, by our experiences, and by what is acceptable or not acceptable. So a society that, allows violence, or a society that believes that the end justifies the means, of course will not be doing the individual any good. But most importantly for me, it is the family. Even if a woman is involved in politics, it does not mean that she should neglect her home. It does not mean that because the woman is involved in politics, the husband should also not be involved in bringing up the child. It takes both of them to bring the child into existence. So it should take both of them to nurture and to ensure that that child grows up to be the best that that child can be. So I think it's a failure of the family, not a failure of the woman or the man. It's the family. They have both failed in their responsibility. If they bring up youths who allow themselves to be used as pawns to perpetuate violence, I think it's a failure of the family. And for me, it's a call to duty that we should realize our primary responsibility as homemakers. Not just the woman that should be a homemaker. The man too should make his home. Okay. No, it's true. That's the way I see it.
As a woman, how do you reconcile the traditional role of a woman as a wife, as a mother that should be in the home, and a woman now who goes into politics actively? How do you reconcile the two? How can she manage it?
Of course, women have learned to multitask over the years, right from the Bible days. So I do not think that every woman must be a housewife. No. If you choose to be a housewife, it's a noble profession. I've got no problem with that. But if you choose to be actively involved in politics, there's nothing wrong with that. Every woman should multitask, because even the housewife, she won't just sit in the house all day. She finds herself doing school runs, going to the market, moving around, doing things, all targeted towards ensuring the comfort and the well-being of the family. So I think that even a woman who is involved in politics should not forget that she's a wife or she's a mother. She needs to still play that role. But she now needs a lot of help. You need a supportive husband. Yes. Even a man that is involved in politics, if he doesn't have a supportive wife, he won't succeed. So both the man or the woman, they need the support of their partner, they need the support of their friends, they need the support of even their extended family. So for me, I think any woman that wants to be actively involved in politics or even involved in her career, does not have to be politics. You must learn to multitask. You must also learn to prioritize, because at the end of the day, for me, your family should come first before any job whatsoever. Your family should, after God, the next is your family. So if you do not give the necessary attention to your family, you find out that at the end of the day, you succeed in your career and you come home to nothing, to emptiness. So I think it is important for both the women and the men to know that they need to pay attention to their family, to bring up children who are God-fearing, to bring up children who will give direction to society, to bring up children that we can be proud of, not children that will break our hearts, not children that will be a nuisance, not children that will be used as thugs and cultists and all that.
Bandits.
No, that is not the way to go.
So what category of women should be actively involved in politics? Is it the woman whose children are all grown up, the educated, the illiterate? What
Every category of woman should be involved in politics, as far as she has a desire to serve her people, as far as she has a desire to contribute meaningfully to the society. Education, of course, is important. The more educated you are, the better equipped to serve. But it does not mean that if you are not educated, you cannot be in politics. There are some people who have certificates and all that, but that is where it ends. So I believe that education is more than having a certificate. Education is more of the mind. So we need women who have that desire to serve. We need women who fear God. We need women who are ready to go the extra mile, because we live in a society where the men give so little to the women and expect so much from them. So as a woman, you find yourself going the extra mile to succeed, because you need to be outstanding for them to give you a chance. So every woman who has that desire to serve should go there, because for me, I believe that if I can do it, any woman can.
You know of the 35% affirmative policy of the United States, and we don't know, what do you think? Do you think that our President, His Excellency Muhammadu Buhari, would implement this 35% affirmative policy by ensuring that women are represented in every phase of government? What is your take on that, considering how the recent appointments have been so far?
Well, I want to thank you for that question. When His Excellency President Buhari came into office, there was a dinner organized, for the women to say thank you for voting him. And this issue came up, how gender-friendly is our president. And his wife, Her Excellency, actually made us understand that he is a gender-friendly person, that he supports women, empowerment. So for me, I would like to give him that chance. I want to believe that he will do that, although he hasn't made a lot of appointments, if you ask me. So it would be too early to judge him.
He has made a number of appointments, and they are mainly the male folks, with just one woman.
Yeah, but
INEC.
For me, I think it's a handful of appointments that he's made compared to the appointments he has to make.
Okay.
So I believe that women will be adequately represented in his government, because there are a lot of competent women who can do so much. So I believe that he will do that.
Okay, just what if he doesn't carry women along? What do you think women can do to I wouldn't say agitate, but to make him recognize the women folk?
Well, already the woman leader of the All Progressive Congress, she is very passionate about the issues of women.
Okay.
So I believe that in her we'll have a voice that can speak loud and clear for the cause of women. And just like in any other situation where you don't get what you want, you can't keep quiet. You need to air your views. You need to make it known. And I'm sure there will be enough fora for women to say, look, we do not think we are getting a fair share, considering the contribution that we make. The women constitute more than up to at least 50% of the population. And when it comes to election, the electorates, you have more women out there. They're the ones that go out early. They're the ones that sit there all day patiently waiting to cast their vote. So they play, major roles in ensuring that we have the leaders in the position of authority. And I believe that they should be part of, governance. So I believe that if the women don't have adequate, it mustn't be 35%. In my opinion, 35% is inadequate. That's unfair. Even though we just see that, well, it's a starting point. But I don't think that is where to aspire to. I think we should get more than 35%, because we contribute more than 35%, if you ask me. So I think that we would we'll let it out if we don't get what we want. Okay. You can count on that.
Yes, we're still with Honorable Victoria Nyeche, and she's telling us what women should do, women in politics, especially as it concerns Rivers State and, of course, Nigeria. We'll be right back after this break. Don't go nowhere. Welcome back from the break. Now, Honorable, we see in a political party where the highest or the most significant position a woman can occupy is a woman leader. From the chairman, secretary, and all of them, you're mostly men. What do you think about that? Don't you think charity should begin at home? If we're talking about women being involved in politics, they should start from their political parties. What do you think about that?
Excuse me. I do not think that is actually correct, that the position of the woman leader is the most significant. No, that one is more like statutory, because you can't have a man being a woman leader. Yes, so that's a given. But we've had women in different positions as either assistant secretaries or some places you even have them as vice, the vice chairman. We've had some women in political offices. So I do not think that is exactly correct. For me, where we actually have issues is when it comes to the executive positions in, as per commissioners, okay, House of Assembly, in reps, in those positions. I think that is where we have issues. But in political, the party ESCO, I think
it's open to women.
Yes,
okay.
It is. And my party actually, gives a lot of concession to women.
Okay.
Like during our nomination processes, we were the only party that made it absolutely free, as in both the nomination form and the expression of interest form. In the past, what you have is that you don't pay for the nomination form, you pay for expression of interest. But for APC, it's completely free.
For the genders.
Yes, and for me, I think that's a good start.
What chances do you think the women have over the men in our political scene?
The chances they have over the men.
Do you see them being able to compete with them actively,
I'm not competing already. I think we are.
It's still lopsided. It's not yet balanced.
It's not balanced, that
yes.
I agree.
So what chances do they stand?
Of evening it out?
Yes.
Nelson Mandela would say it's a long walk to freedom. It's actually going to be a long walk, but I see light. I think that it's something that we should work for.
Okay.
I also do not think that simply because we are women, we should just get whatever we want.
No, talking about women who are qualified.
Competent women, yes.
Because there are a lot of them. Yes,
but I think that the first thing is for the women to actually believe in themselves and put in their best. Because if we wait for the men to serve it to us on a platter of gold,
it's never going to come.
That won't happen.
Okay.
But when we believe in ourselves and we work hard and we refuse to be stereotyped, because the men will want you to believe that women don't like themselves, women cannot get anything done unless there's one man at the back assisting them, and because of that, the women that think they are decent will say, I don't want to get involved in politics, it's a dirty game, it's a violent game, I can't compete with the men. And with all those defeatist attitudes, you just find the women staying back. But if the women believe in themselves and say, look, that's Victoria Eche doing it, why can't I do it? And they come out there and they give themselves a chance, because you must believe in yourself first before others can believe in you. Yeah, so when you believe in yourself and you make yourself available and you put in your best, of course God is there to assist you. And I believe that when you do your best, you will get it. That's just what I believe. So the men should wait. We are getting there. Yes.
Now, during the last election in Rivers State, you were not very happy with the outcome of the election, and you made your position clear. You came on air and you aired your views about it. Do you still feel that way, or have you let time heal the wounds?
There can't be any healing until you address the problem. Just like there can't be peace unless there is justice. So for me, at that point, yes, I felt that what I needed to do was speak. And I have spoken loud and clear.
Yes.
But we are the tribunals, and I believe that we'll get justice. I believe so. Because my people gave me their mandate, and that mandate I will exercise.
Okay. So, now, what do you see about the future of the female politician? Is it bright? Is it gloomy? Are there prospects for the female politician?
Of course, there are prospects. There are prospects, but just that these things will not just come, as I said earlier, on a platter of gold. The future is bright for any woman who wants to make her mark in politics, if she's committed, she's hardworking, she believes in herself, and she has the fear of God, she will get there. Because, as I said, even right from the days of the Bible, we had women like Deborah, who, apart from the fact that she was a wife, when other people were behind grinding and cooking and mending clothes, she chose to be out there in the battlefield. She was out there commanding commanders. And at the end of the day, God used her to deliver her people from the terrorists of their time. So I believe that women can excel in any field. You have women who are soldiers. We have women in every field. So we can have women even as presidents of the country.
Do you foresee that? And
Why not?
Are you going to welcome that in Nigeria?
Very much so. We have had female...
in Africa?
Yes.
Salif and all of them.
Even in
Europe,
UK.
yes.
Exactly. So why can't we have them in Nigeria? We will get there. We will certainly get there.
Well, just before we go, you've had challenges. Not just because you're a politician, but basically because you are a female politician. What are these challenges and how did you surmount them?
Just as you said, you have challenges even as a politician, but you even have more challenges as a female politician, because people want to take you for granted. People want to fix meetings at very odd hours. People just want to even just try to make things difficult. They want to run you down, they want to dismiss you, they want to believe that you cannot do it. But at the end of the day, it's up to you. Because I believe in myself, I don't let people distract me. I don't, I know that God has the final say in everything, so I don't allow myself to be discouraged by people's opinion. I believe that I can do it. I believe that if I put in my best, I will have my effort, rewarded. I do not think that I should just do things the way they have been done in the past. That's why, by the grace of God, I ensure that I, carried out constituency projects that met the needs and yearnings of our people. I did not think that, because in the past we had to search for people's projects, that I should do projects that you will need to search for. No, I did projects that stand out there as landmark projects that will touch the lives of our people, especially our women. So for me, to surmount the challenges, see them as surmountable. Believe that you can surmount these challenges, so that way you are result oriented. You are looking for the solution. You are not, busy looking at the problem.
Challenges.
You're looking at the solution, and you find out that the solutions will be there because you're seeking them out. And I've had very supportive friends. I've had supportive family members. So that has also helped me, surmount the challenge of multitasking, looking after the family and putting in your best in your career and all that. And of course, my faith in God too has also made me know that the future is bright for me, because the Bible says it is well. Okay,
your last word, what's your advice to women as a politician? What do you advise them?
It's, get out of your comfort zone and go for it. Be part of decisions that affect you, and that is what politics is all about. It's about decision making, and we need women to be part of it, because if you don't take care of yourself, who will?
Yes, those are the words and advice of Honorable Victoria Inyechi. Get out of your shell, the Nigerian woman, and be who you want to be. That's it on Festival of Talks today, and I know you had a wonderful time. Tune in next week for another special and exciting edition. My name is Angel Perfecta Eze. Until next week. Bye-bye.